So, have you ever stopped to wonder, how do we actually know if our tax money is making any difference? I mean, it's a huge question, right? Well, today, we're going to break down the entire system that's designed to give us that exact answer. Let's dig into how they connect your money to their mission.
And really, this is the core challenge for any public service. It's not enough for them to just spend the budget they're given. No way. They have to prove that all that spending is actually creating real value for citizens, for you and me. So, how on earth do they do that?
You know, the whole system really boils down to this one simple relationship. It's your money, but it's their mission to use it effectively. And that dynamic creates an absolute need for rock solid accountability. And this, right here, is the huge shift in thinking. For decades, a government's success was often measured by, well, just following the rules and spending what they were allocated. But the new focus, the one that really matters, is on achieving actual outcomes. Are our schools getting better? Are the roads we drive on safer? Those are the results that count. So, to make this big shift from just tracking processes to tracking results, governments rely on a pretty powerful duo. Think of them as two key concepts that have to work together to create a real system of accountability. I love this slide because it simplifies these two big ideas so well. Think of management accounting as the detective. Its whole job is to dig into the numbers, find all the financial facts, and figure out exactly where the money went. Performance management, on the other hand, that's the coach. The coach takes all those facts from the detective and asks, all right, team, how can we do better? How do we use this info to win the game? Okay, so here's the more official take on it. Management accounting is basically the internal machinery. It's all about giving managers inside the government the data they need to make smart decisions, to plan budgets, to control costs, and to map out their long-term strategy. And performance management, well, that's the framework that gives all that data a purpose. It's the system for setting goals, for monitoring progress, and for evaluating whether a program is actually achieving what it set out to do in the first place. You could call it the report card for government services. So here's the most crucial point. You absolutely cannot have one without the other. The detective's facts are useless without the coach's game plan, and the coach can't make any good decisions without the detective's facts. They are completely intertwined. So we have the detective and the coach, but what tools do they actually use? To see how this all works in the real world, we're going to take a look inside the toolkit used by the government of Malaysia. Okay, first up, the detective's toolkit. This includes things like budgetary control, which is basically like checking the government's bank account every month. Then you've got costing systems, which are crucial for figuring out the true cost of providing a service, like, say, issuing a single passport. And variance analysis. Think of that as an early warning system that spots when spending starts to go off track. And now for the coach's playbook. This is where all that financial data gets put to work. A balanced scorecard helps connect the day-to-day tasks to the big picture strategy. Service charters are like public promises about the quality you should expect. And, maybe most importantly, you have public feedback channels, which bring the citizen's voice, your voice, directly into the whole evaluation process. Now, these individual tools don't just exist in a vacuum. They all support three core national frameworks: outcome-based budgeting, which we're going to dive into next, key performance indicators, or KPIs, which measure what matters, and a star rating system to publicly show how well different agencies are performing. This right here shows you the core idea so clearly. With outcome-based budgeting, an agency doesn't just get money for education. Nope. They get money for a specific program designed to achieve a specific outcome, like, say, improving literacy rates by 10%. The KPIs are there to measure that progress, and regular reviews check if the targets are actually being met. It's a direct line from money to results. Okay, so that's a lot of technical stuff. But what does it all actually mean for the average person? What's the real-world impact when a government gets this right? Well, the payoff is huge. Decisions start being based on evidence, not just guesswork. It becomes much clearer how tax money is being used, which seriously boosts accountability. And all of this pushes agencies to become more efficient and to focus on what citizens actually need. It helps build a culture that's all about performance. When you strip away all the jargon and the frameworks, this is the ultimate goal. Every single tool, every report, every meeting, it's all designed to squeeze more value out of every single dollar of public money.
And it's so important to know this isn't just some management fad or a good idea. This entire system is backed by the full force of the law, from the federal constitution itself down to specific acts and powerful oversight bodies like the Public Accounts Committee. This gives the system real teeth. But of course, having a great plan on paper is one thing. Making it actually work in reality, well, that's a whole other challenge. Let's look at some of the roadblocks that get in the way. And these are some significant hurdles. You might have data stored in different systems that don't talk to each other. Staff might not have the training they need to do complex analysis. And then there's just human nature. Resistance to change is a powerful force in any big organization. But maybe the biggest challenge of all is that measuring long-term societal impact, like improving overall public health, is just incredibly complex. This quote just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? You can have the best software in the world and the most elegant frameworks. But at the end of the day, success depends on the people and the culture within the public service. So I think the real takeaway here is that this isn't a problem you solve just once and then forget about. Creating a high-performing, accountable government is a constant process. It's about measuring, learning, and adapting over and over again. It truly is a journey, not a final destination. And that brings us to the final and most critical question. When these systems create transparency and make all this performance data available to everyone, it empowers another group to join the process. It empowers citizens. The data is there, the reports are written, but the final link in the entire chain of accountability is an informed public that pays attention and asks the tough questions. And that part, well, that part is up to us.